Hey guys, what's going on? Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's staying healthy. Being safe, not being stupid. What does that even mean? Anyway, I hope you're all doing good. I'm doing pretty good these days. I got a lot of stuff on my schedule. Self-inflicted or from an outside source. Anyway, that's why I'm doing this instead of making your normal video. I probably got something going on in the background. This is kind of like just a video where I just kind of talk to you, like a podcast. Yeah, I guess you could call it like a podcast episode. But I got something going on in the background. I probably just footage of like a game or something. Anyway. So yeah, let's. I got a big list of topics here to cover. Definitely won't reach them all today. We might even just cover one. Yeah, let's just get into it. So, let's start with this. How do you become a car guy? And I'm not just talking about how do you become a car guy like now. If let's say you're watching this if you're like 20 years old. Let's say you like music your whole life, and how do you become a car guy? I'm not talking about that kind of how do you become a car guy. That's a whole different story. Actually, it's not even a whole different story. That's just almost self-explanatory, but maybe I'll talk about that later. But how do you become a car guy from like a young age? I'd say, for me personally, and I feel like I reflect that. Geez, it's hot in here. I don't know what's going on. It was fine a second ago. Now it's like actually pretty warm. For me personally, and like I said, I think for a lot of other people too. I feel like it has to do with a lot of. I mean, obviously, when you're a kid, a lot of things happen to you, or you do a lot of things, and that's kind of how that kind of forms you as a person. Obviously, how many times have I said "obviously" in the last 10 seconds? So for me, oh geez, my mouth is so dry. So for me, I think it was back in the day when my dad first started buying me toys. I think because he was a car guy. I'd say he still is now, but he was more into it. I think back in the day, because he has this whole collection of scale model cars. He's got one upstairs in this big glass case, and he's got one downstairs in another big glass case. So yeah, he started buying me cars, toy cars as a kid. Obviously, I'd play with them and I'd love it. At least according to the pictures, it seemed like I was having the time of my life. So I think it just kind of branched off from there, I'd associate having a good time, being happy, being joyous in my little baby years, playing with cars. So, as I grew older, I think I wanted to keep that going. I don't know if I realized it at the time. I definitely didn't realize it at the time. I don't even know if it's true right now, but I'm just speculating. I'm just thinking. It's my opinion, just a thought. But yeah, I think that's kind of where I go back to mentally, subconsciously, I should say. Just that I just relate that positive energy, or that those good vibes, those good times, good memories, I guess. Just that positive feeling of general happiness with toy cars. So every time I wanted something new, or every time I wanted to get a new toy, be something to do with a car, or maybe just the odd. Oh, actually, yeah. What other toys did I want as a kid? Stuffed animals. That was one for sure. Obviously, who doesn't? If you didn't have stuffed animals as a kid, I think even if you didn't have at least one that like your parents gave you, that even if it was all tattered and everything, obviously you loved that thing, right? That's like your best friend growing up. If you don't have one of those, I feel like that's probably the reason why you're not so happy these days. I don't know. That's just a joke. Yeah, I think anytime I wanted a new toy, it'd always have something to do with cars. So even Lego sets, my parents would ask me, oh, you want to, you did good at school or whatever, or, it's been a year since we bought you a gift, so we'll buy you a Lego set or something like that. Because they knew I loved Lego. I guess Lego was a big thing. I Now that I think of it, Lego pirate ships. I love that. I remember watching Pirates of the Caribbean as a kid, and I realized, and as soon as I knew that they had those exact ships in. Oh no, those are Mega Blocks. Oh goodness, remember those? The Lego ripoff. Jeez. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, but if generally, I guess 95% of the time, if I wanted a new toy or just a new something, it would be something to do with cars, just because that's how I knew how to be happy. So yeah, I remember the let's see what else I have one of the my Lego set cars that I got when I was a kid. Well, right there on my desk. I'm looking at it right now. Maybe I'll pull up a picture on it. Pull up a picture of it. What am I saying? Pull up a picture of it on the screen. Maybe you'll see one. Hopefully you do. If I don't, then I'm just lazy, or I just forgot it like I usually do. But yeah, so for me, that's kind of I think how it went. Every Lego set I wanted, even if it was like a big one, it'd have to have a car in it for some reason. I remember there was a Lego set that was literally just a guy and a red car. Uh, for all you Lego veterans, here's the measurements of that car. It was like 4 by 12, I want to say, the entire car. 4 studs wide, 12 studs long. Had those old ridged nubby tires, the tiny ones. It was a single seater. No actual seat, I don't think. Maybe there was. No, there was no actual seat. Just sit the guy in the cabin. The little convertible thing. But yeah, I remember I wanted that one so bad. And it was so simple. I tried to recreate it with the random scrap pieces of Lego that I had, but it just didn't feel the same, you know. Yeah, it just didn't feel the same. I think I ended up getting a Lego set eventually that had most similar. For some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason I just couldn't buy that, and I didn't save enough money to buy one for some reason. I don't know how that worked, but anyway, yeah, I ended up getting the pieces to make that car, and eventually I made it, and I was like, you know what? This isn't that exciting. Yeah, I don't know if it's just because it wasn't straight out the box and it didn't have that excitement factor, and I had to kind of Frankenstein it together, just kind of mash all the pieces into one to eventually make something that resembled Lego set number 8402 or something. Well, I used to refer to Lego sets as numbers. Yeah, it was like 8204 or something, or 868. It was 8 something. I don't know. Pretty sure there's a 4 in there. Pretty sure there's a 0 in there. Yeah, no, I think that's yeah. So I got. Actually, I'm looking around my room and I still got a lot of my toy toy cars just in random spots. I got 3 right under my monitor. Got a 911 GT3 RS in white and red. It's got. Oh, excuse me. It's had a weird burp thing. It's white with red wheels. That's kind of unique. Right beside it is a red Ferrari F12 Berlinetta, and beside that is a Datsun 510 Bluebird 510 with a race car livery. That's pretty cool. I didn't know anything about that until recently, and I just finally Googled a couple years ago what a Datsun 510 was, and I was like, hey, that's a pretty cool car. And like I said already, I got what set is this from? It's from a Lego Agents set. I don't know if any of you remember that, but I think they discontinued it since. Lego Agents. It's the what do they call it? The Chase Agent Chase Escape or something like that. It's got the car with the little missile bank in the back where you flick out the missiles. I don't know if anyone actually ever played with them like that. I tried it, just ended up hurting my fingernails. I don't know, maybe I was a wuss. Anyway, yeah, that's where that car's from, with the spider guy, the Dr. Octopus guy. Well, no, he's not Dr. Octopus. He's got like the spider legs. Water Noose, that's who I was thinking of. The Water Noose legs guy with his helicopter that drops him down. That was a set that I got that car from. I didn't build. I I didn't keep the car the way it was. I switched it out. It looks a lot different now. The one that's sitting on my desk is not the one that you'd get out of the box. I did that a lot as a kid, by the way. I just take apart Lego sets that I had, and somehow I had scrap Lego pieces from other sets. But anyway, I just dismantle everything, throw them all in one pile on my bed. My mom hated that, and I would hate that too sometimes because I throw it on my bed and I tried not to get it under any blankets or anything like that, and I just build away for hours. I just build random things, take them apart, put them back together. And then if I really liked it though, I'd keep it. And then at the end of it all, all the pieces that were left, I just gather them all up and throw them back in a big bucket. And more often than not, usually I'd forget one 1x2 little Lego piece, and then I'd wake up in the morning and it'd be stuck like a foot deep in my back or something when I woke up, and I'd have a big red mark. But yeah, so I have that beside me on my left. On my right, I have a camper thing that I also slightly adjusted, not by much. I think what happened with that was I built it, I disassembled it. It looks like I tried to rebuild it, but it didn't quite work because I was missing some of the pieces because I used it for other stuff. But yeah, there's a camper thing right over there, and then right beside it is the apocalypse truck, which is essentially a fuel truck from the Lego set. Oh, jeez, I gotta think about this one again. My goodness, which one was it from? I don't remember. But it was the Octane Energy Fuel Tanker. I'm sure some of you remember that. All I did was I took out the... I'm talking about my Legos now. How ridiculous is this? I took out the last compartment and I just put it into two. There's 3 large pieces. Well, I should say there's 6. The white one's on top and the green one's on the bottom. And there's 3 of them. I just took out once, now there's 2, so it's a smaller tanker truck. And instead of being the truck and the big tank that it's carrying around originally, it's now just what do you even call this? Just like a truck, I guess. Yeah, just like a big heavy duty truck. Box truck? Yeah, it's like a box truck but without the box, and it just has the tank on the back. But it's got like a little deck on top. It's got these weird like spike things coming out the sides. It's got like a snowplow thing in the front. It's got barred up windows. I made that thing years ago. I think that might have been one. No, the car on the left, the agent's car was on the left. I have here is probably the last thing I made. But that one was probably one of the that was probably the last thing I made right before this one. So yeah, I mean that thing looked. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. If I was in an apocalypse, that's the car I built right there. That's probably the one I'd want. It's got fuel. It's got upper levels, so nobody can get to you really, unless they had a big ladder. Barred up windows, you need that. Spikes. Plow in the front. Heavy duty, obviously. Got a lot of torque. Looks like it can carry a few people. So yeah, that's might be an ideal apocalypse car. Yeah, anyway, childhood. I'm going to talk about apocalypse cars in a second now. Childhood. This is where I am now. Yeah, and then I think after all the Lego stuff, I started buying Hot Wheels and vroom vroom. I remember I don't know why I said vroom vroom. But I remember we'd bring them to school, and it was kind of like it was like that contest of who's got the best Hot Wheels car, And you always knew, you don't always know, but when you were younger, it was whoever had the most ridiculous car, or whoever had the car that looked the fastest, right? Even if they weren't real at all. But now, when you're older, and when I mean older, I mean like grade 4. Oh, jeez, am I calling that older? Let's say grade 6. Yeah, let's say grade 6, because by that time I was sure about it. I remember it's that for a specific reason, but in grade 6, I remember once you started pulling out the real cars, the real Hot Wheels cars, like your Porsches and your Ferraris and your Lamborghinis and whatnot, your Camaros. I remember whoever had the fastest Hot Wheels that was a real life car. At that point, they were the business. They were the talk of the town. I didn't have any of those, to be honest. Or if I did, I'd be too nervous to bring them to school, because I didn't want to lose it, didn't want to get it stolen, didn't want to get it broken, didn't want to get it damaged. Jeez, I sound like a supercar owner, like an actual supercar owner. That's crazy. It all starts. I'm telling you, man. It all starts in grade 6. It all starts in that elementary school. Those younger years. Yeah. I live in, well, I wouldn't say a hick town, but I live in an area that has a lot of what should I say, country style living people. So it was more of a focus on Camaros, Mustangs, Chargers, Monte Carlos, Impalas, Challengers. What else? Corvettes. That's a big one. That was a huge one, actually. That was the big thing. And oh yeah, and by this time, I guess it helped that all my guy friends around me were huge car guys. Well, as much as you could be when you're in grade 6. What is grade 6? What grade 6 when you're? That's like what? Oh, I just took another swig of water there. Grade 6 is when you're what? 12 years old? Yeah, something like that. 11, 12, or 13. No. Yeah, we were 12 years old, I think. 11 and 12 years old probably. So, yeah. Yeah, I remember kids would constantly try to one up each other with the new. I think the biggest one, the most impressive thing for some reason at the time was if you had the Camaro, which I don't know what the generation names are for the Camaro, but the one that Bumblebee, the one that the new Transformer, or blah, blah, that was weird. The one that the new Bumblebee in Transformers changed into in that tunnel when he did the 2-wheel thing. Yeah, that movie was just an ad for GM. If you didn't know, Pontiac Solstice, the what was it, the Hummer? No, it was a GMC truck, and the Camaro, obviously. And they were fighting the bad guys, which were Ford Mustang. Barricade, the cop, was a Ford Mustang, and they beat the crap out of him. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. That's how you get kids to want to buy Camaros instead of Mustangs. That was good. That was great marketing on their part. I mean, it didn't. I don't know how much it worked nowadays, because it might have worked back. It definitely worked back in that day, back in that time. But now, Mustangs are just better overall cars in general than Camaros. So, what goes around comes around, I guess. Anyway, yeah, that generation Camaro. I'll probably pull up a picture of it on the screen there for you. That generation of the Camaro was, that was the business. If you had one of those Hot Wheels as a kid, if you had one of those Hot Wheels, you were top tier stuff. You were S tier. So I remember one kid, everybody hated him. The one kid that everybody hated, he comes to school one day, flexing this jet black Camaro SS. I think he was the first one of us to actually have one of those, and everyone's kind of sitting there with their Mercury Cougars and their Dodge Challengers and their Plymouth Barracudas. I'm talking too much about Transformers. Plymouth Barracudas, and we're all just kind of, here's my car, I guess. I don't know. And here he was, thinking he was a king with his black Camaro SS. Yeah, after that point we all started trying to one up each other. At some point the Chevelle SS became the big thing. It's like any trend. One thing becomes the new thing, the hot thing everyone wants to do or try, and then eventually it gets knocked out by another one. So yeah, I think the focus later on shifted to the older muscle cars. Muscle cars. I don't know what's going on with my voice. It all shifted to the older muscle cars. So that's when people started bringing their Novas, their Chevy Novas, their Dodge Challengers, their Dodge Chargers, Ford Mustangs, the 67 Ford Mustangs. I don't think anyone had one of those where I was, but what did I have? Oldsmobile 440. Had a Mercury Cougar. Had the Plymouth Barracuda. I'm looking at it right now, sitting beside the Lego Octane tanker truck as we speak. Oh, the GTX was it GTX? No, GT40, Plymouth GT. No, it was a GTX, Plymouth GTX. Back there on my windowsill. What else did I have? Oh, and I eventually ended up getting a Camaro SS, but by the time I had one, it was already too late. That trend had died. So, yeah, that's what it was. My 1970 green Monte Carlo. That's the thing that did it for everyone. I brought that to school one day, and everyone tried to trade me for it. That was the thing. Man. Hot Wheels. In every grade that you go through in school, there's a hot thing or game or toy that every kid kind of wants. Once you see one kid playing with it during lunch, you're like, hey, I kind of want that. Looks fun. People like me because I have this game, so you want to have that same thing. I'm telling you, behavior doesn't change as an adult. Anyway, yeah. So one day I became the hot guy. That sounds weird. One day I became the guy with the thing. That also sounds weird, but you know what I'm saying. Because I brought in this 1970 Monte Carlo that everyone thought was so cool for some reason. So everyone tried to trade me for it. That's the point I was trying to make. Yeah, we tried to trade. It was like an underground thing we had going there. I think the teachers had to step in and stop it because they thought we were doing some shady stuff. But we were trading cars. I don't remember any trade I made. I don't know if I made any trades, to be honest. I think I might have for what did I trade for what? I'm trying to think. It's a blue Ford Mustang that I have. Yeah, it was a blue Ford Mustang, the generation before, not the is it the S197 or something like that? The last ones to have independent rear suspension, the crowd joke ones. I got one of those from somebody. I traded him for oh boy, what did I trade him for? I'm trying to think now. I don't even know what I traded him for. But yeah, we had this whole thing going. I think there was probably a total of how many? One, two. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Let's see. Travis. We had Travis. We got Nate, Spencer, Harrison, Mike. Not me, but also me. So that's 6. I think those are 6 core guys. Yeah. Now that I think back to it, we had the 6 leaders, I guess you could say, and then every now and then other guys, and I think sometimes even girls would chime in and they'd offer a trade or two. They try to get in on the action. But yeah, it was mainly the 6 of us. We were like the kingpins, I guess you could say. The Hot Wheels lords. Yeah, we trade our cars. We're like sports managers. We're like sports team managers or franchise managers. Yeah, we trade away our cars and we tried to build up the best roster. And we also had a weird stage. I don't know why this started happening, but we also had a weird stage where you just bring a ton of cars to school, and I don't know, for some reason. Again, I don't know what the mentality was behind this, but for some reason, we take these little Hot Wheels Matchbox cars or whatever. And there was this we'd go outside for recess, and there was this brick wall. The gym, there was the outside of the gymnasium. There's this big flat brick wall, and we just start whipping our cars at the wall. I don't know what it was. I guess we just had an appetite for destruction as kids. Those same guys are playing games like BeamNG Drive and Burnout Paradise. Am I one of those kids? Yes, I am. I guess I was. Had an appetite for destruction, and I never went away. But yeah, we just started whipping them at the wall, and we try to... I think... I don't know what it was. There was no goal. There was no incentive. It was just fun, I guess. I say there was no goal, but I think the if you could eventually get... if you know your Hot Wheels cars, you know that there's the metal bit on top, which is the body, the bit in the middle, the plastic bit, which is the inside of the car, and then you got your bottom bit, that's just the underbody, and of course you got the two axles, the front and back ones, and they're all held up they're all held together by pieces from the metal body up top, and they'd come down and they'd hold together the entire body with this little rivet at the bottom. And I think, I mean, while there was no overarching goal, the goal was to, or I guess, I don't know, it was just impressive or whatever. If you could somehow separate, if you could just get it to such a point of destruction that you could separate all four components, or I guess five, the metal, the plastic, the other plastic, and the two axles. If you could somehow separate all those just simply by throwing it at a wall, that was that was a way to impress guys. Is this just painting a picture of why guys are so simple? Why men are just one-track mind beings? It was considered impressive for us to just destroy something to the point of individual reverse engineering. I don't know. It's just funny to me that I think back to it. It's just hilarious. But yeah, that was so weird. I don't know why we did that, but a lot of guys ended up losing their cars. I, for one, I thought it was, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but not at the cost of my own cars. Because keep in mind, I wasn't like these other guys who were getting 5 Hot Wheels every week. I'd be over the moon if I got a new one, every 2 weeks. Let alone a 5-pack or a 10-pack. I don't think I ever got a 10-pack. I got a 5. For a long time ago, I bought this kid a gift for, what was it, 5-pack? Oh yeah, let me tell you about that. All right, I'm gonna tell you this story and then we'll end it off. Almost at half an hour. But yeah, let me tell you the story and then we'll just close out. Anyway, so a long time ago, the same kid that everybody hated, I bought a gift for him, cause I bought a gift for him one year. It was a 5-pack of Hot Wheels cars. No, sorry, it was a 10-pack. Was it a 5-pack? Or anyway, if it was a 10-pack, we cut it down the middle and I gave him half, and I kept the other half. That's how stingy I was. I'm Asian, okay? We Asians are stingy. We like to keep things. So yeah, what happened was there was cars in the pack that I really wanted, and I bought a new. Well, my parents bought it for this kid, but there was cars in the packs that I really wanted, and I didn't like this kid, so I did what any sneaky, dishonest kid would do. I like a little criminal, like a little thief. I sliced open that package and took out the cars that I wanted. I slipped in another one, the one that I already had that I didn't want, and I gave it to him like that. Never said anything. Just the sneaky kid that I was. Oh man, yeah, that's funny. Anyway. Thanks for listening to the stories. Thanks for listening to the, I guess, podcast, whatever you want to call it. I'm probably going to do a few more of these just because I'm so crunched on time. But, yeah, whatever Wednesday will be coming out soon. That'll be interesting. Hopefully. It'll be ridiculous, that's for sure. That's what whatever Wednesdays are for. All right, guys. I hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening if you weren't watching. And, yeah, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye.